So she closed her eyes, and when she opened them again, the paper was still there in her hand with one short sentence printed on it. I know what you did last summer.
Dayelle.
Hi, Amanda.
So, first let's start. We're not together.
We're not. We've been quarantined.
It's because I was a brat and it's 100. The real feel in New York City today is almost 120 degrees.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to sit on a stinky train from the Catskills to the city
You
today.
didn't want to sit in the swampy swamp of what?
Guys, Dayelle sent me a TikTok yesterday because yesterday was like equally as hot of like the smell of the subway. I was like, this is why I'm staying home tomorrow.
I think the top comment on the video was that it smells like a giant porta potty. So that's great. I mean, yay, New York in the summertime.
Well, here's the thing. The MTA trains that I would take to get there, you get like a 50-50 shot if you're in an AC car. And there's nothing worse than when you get into the car and it feels nice and cool, and then you realize it's just because you're by the door and the car in front of you or behind you has the AC, and you're in the not AC car.
Yeah.
And my social anxiety will not allow me to get up and go to the other car.
I mean, same. I don't know that I could even open the door if I wanted to. I'd be too embarrassed because I'd be like, I don't actually know how to open the doors. I always forget until I'm like doing it, and then I'm too nervous, so then I just wait for someone
or
to
you
walk.
Yank it so hard it fucking flies open and everybody looks up at you like you just broke the train. Yeah, that's usually me.
All right, so well, yeah, obviously we're not together, but we're still doing this because I mean, obviously
perfect day to do it.
It's
like the summer slasher movie that we forgot was a book.
Yeah, I think because I mean, I guess I can't jump that far ahead. What are we drinking today, or what would we be drinking if we were?
You can jump that far ahead. I wish I was drinking a gallon of this. Yes. It's called Hook, Line, and Drunker.
I love it.
It's essentially like a sangria, but it's dark red to mimic all the different shades of red they used as blood in the movie.
I like it
because you get them all.
Yeah, you really do. It's impressive.
So. Typical sangria recipe: red wine, brandy, Cointreau, blood orange juice for some like deep red color, and then a little bit of Sprite or lemon lime seltzer if you're watching your sugar intake, and then just make a big old batch of that shit and just guzzle it. That's
perfect. That's a perfect thing for today. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
So we are talking. Obviously, we're going to talk about the slasher that is. A classic 90s slasher film, but we're actually gonna start with the book written by Lois Duncan. And this book, this is kind of crazy. I didn't realize that this book had been written in 1973, which is wild to me because when I picked it up to read it, I was very confused very quickly because they had cell phones, and I was like, I don't understand how a book that was written in, 1973 could have cell phones. So then I did a little quick, Google, and it had been updated in 2010. So it's like modernized for us, millennials.
I was reading it by listening to it because I was like, oh, this is super short. And Dayelle and I are psychopaths and we read on 2.0 speed. Sometimes we slow it down to 1.5. Yeah. If they have a British accent, I like to slow it down. Otherwise, they sound like crazy.
Like the Jane Austen books, you have to listen to like a more normal.
Yeah, you have to. So I'm listening, and I'm like, I thought this book was like from the 60s. I don't think I'm listening to the right book. So then I got it for free on Audible. So I was like, okay. If I just wasted a credit on so I didn't get it for free. I have a credit. But I was like, if I just wasted a credit on this, I'm going to be so mad if it's the wrong book. And then it says, no, this is the correct book. And then I'm like, why? And I got to be honest with you, I just stopped listening. I was like, I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off. I fucked something up. And then a couple days go by, and I was like, let me just TikTok research lab. Yep. I Know What You Did Last Summer book. And there was this whole girl who's super pissed that they modernized it because the movie, they don't really have the modern technology that they do in the book. So it's almost like the book went backwards.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're going to be really honest right up front, is the book and the movie are not the same thing. Like,
they kept the same names for the characters.
Yeah, they kept some of the character names, and they kept the title of the book, but like, kind of sort of the concept of someone being killed and then a bunch of kids trying to cover it up. But that's like it. There are no other elements that really
Agreed.
There's like, it's funny, I went back and forth with like, I don't understand. It's one of those things where like, why didn't they just name it something else? And I mean, obviously it was a catchy name, so it works really well, and you know, obviously there's been lots of things that have come from it, but there are some lines and there are some things that are the same, and I think that is why they stuck with the same name. But as far as plot, it is wildly different.
Yeah. And so the book's like a slow burn mystery book,
Yeah,
right?
it's like suspenseful.
It's not really even a thriller.
No.
Exactly.
Well, and that's funny. I'm glad you brought that up too, because I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions of this book, if you're going into it expecting the movie, is the book, like the author, she's known for her like suspenseful thriller stories and not slasher, murder, horror stories. And
she was pissed by the movie. She was pissed.
Yeah, and I can understand it. Like, I could understand being the author of this book and seeing this movie, and whether she was like given the opportunity to see it before it went out, or like she went and saw it in movie theaters, I don't know. But the version that we're talking about, the movie version, because there's been a couple, is the 1997 movie adaptation. And like, if you type it into Google, I think this is hilarious. If you type in, I know what you did last summer, like one of the first articles that comes up is literally the one where like she's just like, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to my book. Like,
she said she was appalled. Like, that's her exact quote. I am appalled of this adaptation. Here's the thing. I wish that they kept some of the storyline the same, because to me, in the book, they kill a little boy on his bicycle. That's horrendous.
It's terrible.
And they leave him to die. And their big thing is, well, we called the ambulance.
Yes. Right.
Which, in the 1973 version... they don't have a cell phone to call the ambulance.
No, but they go to a local diner and they
tell
somebody.
Okay.
So there is still like, they do let someone know. But the weird thing about it is the fact that like, wouldn't that trace right back to all of them? Like, how would they know this unless they were there? Thus, they're the ones that hit the little boy. So I have like a little bit of an offshoot to what we're talking about, because I discovered this and it blew my mind, and so I have to tell you about it. Okay. So Lois Duncan had a daughter, and her daughter was murdered. And my mind was blown by just that little tidbit. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, she wrote the book as like a healing process to her daughter being murdered. No, her daughter was murdered in 1989, brutally, without any reason. And so I was like, wait a minute, I need to find out more about this story. Like, what? She was murdered? So I looked up the story of what happened to her daughter, and it is dark, and it is crazy. Horrible. That she like, I would not be able to write about anything like that if I had had that situation happen to me, like losing my daughter. So basically the story is her daughter was leaving her friend's house, and she was driving home, and there's a little bit of like information where like either she was walking home or she was driving home. The article that I found is actually a Rolling Stones article. It says that she was driving home and she was shot 2 times and she was dead. like almost immediately. And the person that shot her was not discovered. And just that in itself is crazy. So you kind of think like, oh, it was just like a fluke thing. Like, you know, someone was probably in a fight and she just happened to be in the crossfire, like whatever it might be. No. So it turns out the person that shot her, I think it was like a little bit of time had passed, maybe like 3 or 4 years later, had come forward and admitted to doing it. And what was crazy about it is the fact that the guy who did this is basically a serial killer. He had killed several other women. And when he was interviewed, this is the this is wild. So he was interviewed, or I guess not interviewed, when he was brought in with the police and they were questioning him, he basically, this is what he said. I think what made me do it, what made me attack her, was all the hatred I had for women. Because growing up, I seen men treating women bad, and they go for the bad guys. And I try to be nice and be good, and they just didn't want that. So I was jealous, and I had hatred, and I just released it.
Almost even more disgusting is he wasn't arrested until 2021.
Okay. I knew there was like some like added things to the story, but like this is crazy.
Insane. And he stabbed some other girls. He confessed. His name was, we're not going to give him a name because he doesn't deserve any airtime. But he confessed to 2 other murders around the same time. One of them, he stabbed a student at the University of Mexico. And so he was indicted in 2022, and he was just sentenced January 2024 to 45 years in prison. And what's so heartbreaking about this is she had written, Lois Duncan had written and released Who Killed My Daughter? And she wanted to write a sequel with the closure of who had killed her daughter, right? And so obviously that didn't happen before she could write it. But after her daughter died, she said she could only write children's books because she couldn't
revisit that.
She couldn't revisit such violent things. And then that kind of brings me to the movie. Yeah. That's probably why she was appalled.
Yeah.
They did the exact thing. And here's the thing. Straight up, take our beautiful little Lois and what happened to her off the table. I freaking loved this movie.
I know.
Loved it. We rented this at Blockbuster every damn weekend when we went to my dad's house.
I was going to say, I feel like it's such a classic slasher film. Like, you have, like, those staples like Scream. I mean, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and of course now I can't. Jaws.
I still know what you did last summer.
Like, all of those were just such classic slasher, like, I want to watch a scary
summer
movie,
movies,
and you put that on. Like, and it was on, like, if you were up really late at night, it'd be on, like, the television, you know, you could watch it. And it's kind of crazy because with everything that had happened too, she Lois had started a campaign against violence in movies, which I think is kind of crazy because this movie did so well and created its own like franchise of movies and is still doing really well. Like we had in 2021, there was an Amazon Prime TV series called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Did you watch it?
I didn't. I watched the preview and I was like...
I was going to say, I tried to watch one episode. Not that it's bad. I'm not saying that it's bad. But it's a great way for like someone your son's age to get into this. But it was just like, I might be too old to be enjoying this right now. Before we leave the story of her poor daughter, so Lois Duncan died in 2016, so she never got to see the conclusion of her daughter's case, and that just breaks my freaking heart.
It's really sad, and it's kind of a crazy like turn of events for someone that writes, because like obviously in the book, the story follows this group of teenagers who we've already mentioned the fact that they end up hitting a little boy who's riding home on his bicycle late at night, and the one of the biggest differences is also spoilers. If you've not read the book, we're gonna give a little bit away. What ends up happening is there's this guy who's kind of like put himself into this group because he is dating Julie, because Julie is trying to forget about what happened, and she kind of like goes down into like a pretty deep depression and really struggles with like, you know, the fact that she didn't agree with not staying with the little boy and making sure he was okay, and so she really fights with the fact that he didn't survive and like it's definitely their fault. And they, like, all this stuff kind of happens. Obviously, the first part of the book, you know, Julie opens up a note that says, "I know what you did last summer," and then things start to happen. And one of the bigger plot points is Barry, who is like the other guy involved in the group of teenagers, who happened to be the one that was driving the night that they hit the little boy, is shot. And you're kind of like, okay, where is this going? Because if you know the movie, it's already wildly different. And so the story continues. More stuff is happening. They're trying to figure out, like, why was he shot? He got a phone call right before he went out and got shot, and it just so happened to be his girlfriend, who is Helen, who's like this, you know, drop dead gorgeous
beauty queen.
And but his family like doesn't like her, and he kind of doesn't like her either. It's this weird, like,
he's a dick.
He's kind of the worst.
He's seriously
yeah,
sucks.
and so like it follows that a little bit, and then you start to get more information. And I don't know if you felt this way, and I'm curious because I was like the whole time I'm like, I don't know. But the whole time I was like, something is off with this guy. Like, he seems too perfect. He seems too mellow. There's something weird. And then he kind of puts himself into situations that you're like, And then there's this other character that pops up. But this might be very confusing for someone that's listening to this. But basically, like, there's two different, not storylines, but two different things that are happening at the same time. So not all of the characters are like together. So there's like multiple things that are happening. And you get this other guy, which I forget what they called, Cam or like Collie
for Collingsworth.
Yes, and that so happens to be Bud's last name, but you don't know any of this, and so it turns out that Bud and they're the same person, but you don't know that. And just like all this like crazy weird stuff happens, and then things start making sense, and you start realizing, like, wait a minute. And they end up going to the little boy's family's house, because Julie's like, I just have to know for myself, like, maybe they're involved, maybe they're the ones that are sending us the letters, like, you know, what's going on. Also, there's no fisherman in this. There's no
Yeah, right.
There's no hook. There's no one's been killed. It's like, you know, Barry got shot, but he's in the hospital and he'll probably be fine. And maybe he'll be like, you know, he won't be able to walk ever again, but, you know, whatever. So like all this stuff is happening. They go to the family's house. No one's home except for, is it the sister that's home? And she's like kind of just.
With Julie?
Yeah, the one that she goes to talk to. And it's the sister. Like, they say that the car broke down, and they like go into the house. Yeah. So like they go, and like they're not really saying who they are. They're just trying to get information. But then Julie starts like putting stuff together, and she starts realizing, well, it turns out that there was an older stepbrother or half brother who was in the military, and he was the brother to the little boy that was killed. But it's kind of like not a very important part of the story. Like, they kind of just brush over it and then just keep like trying to figure out.
They just gloss over it. I'm like, why did you even write that in? Why is it even there?
Right, it's like a little Easter egg, because like obviously that's going to come back into play at some point. And I mean, basically that, you know, he plays the biggest part of the whole book, but all of this is happening, and then at the very end, you start to like realize, like, okay, wait, this guy is bad news, and he's trying to like, you know, kill. I don't know if he's trying to kill everybody, but he's trying to like.
Well, he definitely tries to kill Julie, and if
Yeah.
it wasn't for her mom's creepy intuition, I think he would have.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He would have offed her.
She's got the foresight. She can see.
Her mom
things.
is like, I've got a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling. And her mom had a bad feeling the night this happened.
Yes.
Said she didn't know why, but she woke up sweating and thought something bad happened to her.
Also, it was kind of a random chapter of that, like where it's just kind of like, oh, and by the way, the mom can see things.
Yeah. Oh, and my mom's a psychic.
Yeah, fun fact, this is happening. So now to jump into the movie, which is, I mean, chef's kiss to like the storyline here.
Let's just talk about the casting.
Perfect.
You've got Freddie Prinze Jr., and he's playing our boy Ray. And then you've got Barry Cox, played by Ryan Philippe, which is so perfect. That young, rich, arrogant asshole.
He plays it so well.
So well.
Insert Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, that I couldn't get behind. So you've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she's playing Helen, which Helen is the beauty queen who wins the very beginning of the movie kind of is true to the book. So you see that Helen's the beauty queen, where in the book she gets this gig for the news. Yeah. Where she's got like a spot on the local news, but she's just like the town beauty. I just said town booty queen. Maybe that as well.
Yeah,
good for you, girl. Yeah. Go off. And she's dating Ryan Philippe, and then you've got Jennifer Love Hewitt playing Julie, where they're trying to tell me that Jennifer Love Hewitt is plain.
Yeah. She's not very pretty,
and
she's not very pretty.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Are you kidding me? And the way that they differentiate in the movie that she's like depressed and going through something is she doesn't curl her hair. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm so glad you
all
brought
of a sudden
that up.
At the end, where she's like better, it's just like, oh my god, look at all of the curls in my hair.
Bouncy curls.
I'm so good.
And she wears a lot of overalls when she's depressed. Did you notice that?
She does. I'm starting to think I might be depressed. I already knew I was, but if I'm using the Jennifer Love Hewitt-ometer, I'm in my deep depression right now.
It 100% is the way you know that she's depressed, and her hair is just so plastered
Lanky.
to her face.
Yeah. It's like she discovers dry shampoo and a curling iron, and she is better.
Yeah. I forgot this little part of it. So in the movie, sorry, not in the movie, in the book, Barry, before he gets shot, he gets a phone call, and that's how the whole thing happens. Like, he basically blames Helen, says that she was the one that called, but actually, in actuality, it was someone that he didn't recognize. He didn't know who the voice was, and he was expecting Helen to call, so he just kind of like thought it was her. And he basically, the person on the phone has like his voice is disguised, and it basically says that the person on the phone says that he's got photos of the accident. And Barry's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was at night. You can't take photos at night. And the person on the phone is like, well, I had special film. Which...
That's true to the 70s.
Yes, but like that whole concept is so funny to me because like if they have cell phones, wouldn't they have like those little point and shoot cameras that have flash? Which you could take. So
they could only afford to change so many lines, okay?
So the whole concept of him being like, I have special film. What does film, like, what? Like film? the what is it, high exposure film or whatever, where you can like you let more light in.
I know you were a photographer, but like it just jogged a memory in my brain. Remember when you used to have to get color film or black and white film? And I remember for like my shitty little camera, my mom being like, "We can't afford color film. Just get a black and white. They're all gonna be blurry anyway."
Exactly. Well, it's funny, like that whole concept. I was just like, okay, well, cool. And then that's like just a totally random, like that never comes back into play again. Like he obviously didn't have photos of them.
Yes. But also you just reminded me again of the movie. Is like, So in the movie, they're joyriding, right?
Yeah.
And they hit a fisherman, and he's in a ditch, and he's dead, and they think he's dead, so they've got to move his body.
But they don't know he's a fisherman. Remember, they think it's just a guy. They don't realize it's a fisherman.
But don't worry, he's wearing rubber boots and a fisherman's hat.
And one of the boots flew off. That's how they found it.
Just flies off, and then you've got. Here's the thing. Okay, Henry had never seen this movie. So he watched it for the first time.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Edibles were taken.
Understandably. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had so many questions. Yeah. And I was like, I need you to think like it's 1997. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're thinking like it's 2025. He's like, when did they ever see him in the fisherman's outfit? How do they always know this person in a fisherman's outfit is the murder guy? And I was like, well, he had the boots and the hat in the ditch. Yeah. And he's like, it looks like they live in a seaside town. Everybody's wearing boots and a hat. I'm like, yeah, I get. You just have to suspend belief with me.
Like that's just not important. Those are just details. Like, don't worry about it.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's sister sleeps in the department store she works in. She apparently lives right above it.
I mean,
dream job. Also, room and board.
How long does it take someone to open up a door with a key? Jesus Christ.
Double also, what brand push-up bra were they putting on Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sarah Michelle Gellar? But
they were,
because those girls were up there. Were. The last scene where Jennifer Love Hewitt's in the towel going to the like her tits are in her throat. Yeah. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt, girl, she's got a great.
She was like the it girl.
But I was like, I have many a towel time, and could never like, make my boobs that perfectly. Yeah. And just stay there. Let me just flail around with my arms, and this towel's going nowhere. With my boobs up on my throat.
I mean, hey, whatever. That works. It also, I think going into the movie, you know, like when you're watching like a old school slasher film, you just like expect the girl with the big boobs to die first. Like you're going to see her naked and she's going to die in the shower. Like it just comes with the territory. That doesn't happen in this. They
get haircuts in their sleep.
And the guy, the like nerdy guy gets killed first. The guy that was like super into Jennifer Love.
Max.
Yeah. And he's such a random character. He really plays no role except for the fact that he sees them the night of the accident. And, you know, tough guy. He's like, you know, rolls by and then just drives by and doesn't actually see anything, but then they kind of think that he's the one that sent the note. And so, you know, big tough Barry goes to Bear. Is that his name in the movie? Now I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes and he like,
they kept the names
he's going to rough him up, you know, like rough him up with the fish hook, which then you're like, oh, okay. All right, we're setting up the fact that the fish hook is going to come into play, and like they zoom in on the fact that he puts it on the ice thing, and then he uses it again later. But what I thought was really interesting is I didn't know this, but it totally makes sense that the same the movie was written by the same guy who wrote Scream, and I was like, okay, now it all makes sense.
It does. And, you know, I will say something I like. So in the movie or in the book, they get like these, Julie gets a letter and that it's, you know, a little bit different. But I kind of liked the whole threatening messages that they all keep getting in different ways. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar's hair gets cut off and she's the beauty queen. So that's like her thing. Yeah. And she has this moment where she's like, it's all about the do, meaning the hairdo. Yeah. And so her hair gets cut off. And then there's this big, like on her bedroom mirror, it says soon in pink lipstick or red lipstick.
Also on that note, when her hair gets like chopped off in like big chunks and then her whole thing is like, oh, I can't go to the parade because my hair, and she wears like that hat that everybody had, those hats. Then she goes to the parade and her hair is like a cute little like long bob.
Curled though, don't worry. It's a curled bob.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't understand. Also, there's so many fishermen in those fisherman jackets and boots and hats. It's so confusing. I couldn't point out like, which one.
Also, getting run down by a car. I mean, they just really did these characters dirty.
Really, but he was fine. So, you know, there's that. It's good that he was okay. I just, you know, It's one of those things where this is a fun one for us to do because it is so different from the book that like you kind of have to separate each of them and like think about them as separate entities because you love the movie for reasons, you love the book for reasons, right? So like coming into this and then like rewatching the movie, I was just kind of like I don't know. I still really, it's a very entertaining movie. It's ridiculous. Everyone, is eventually going to be killed, whether it's in this one or the next one or the next one. And speaking of that, obviously we have not seen the newest remake of the movie because it doesn't come out until the 18th of July. But maybe by the time we do this episode or we post this episode, it will be out. I can't remember. But either way, I watched the preview and they brought back what's his name? Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love.
Almost all of them.
Ryan
Phillippe has a cameo too.
Does he?
I think so. Yeah,
so
in a flashbacky type thing.
Okay, so they only.
Oh, so maybe it's just flashbacking to it.
Yeah, because they only
he's
bring
dead.
up the fact that those two are in. Like they make a big deal of showing them in the preview, and it's kind of hilarious because Jennifer Love Hewitt's line, one of the main girls in the movie, like the younger, version of the story, they also, I guess, kill someone on a cliff. It's like literally the same thing, but now it's the new generation. She goes to, I'm assuming Jennifer is a professor because she's in like a college hallway. That's what it looks like.
She's very smart.
Very smart.
Very smart.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt looks at the girl and she goes, "What did you do last summer?"
Oh my God.
And I was like, that's so iconic. And then Freddie Prinze Jr., there's like a town hall where all the parents and the people are talking about all this stuff that's happening and these murders and this stuff and whatever. And he goes, "This isn't the first time this has happened." And he like comes in from the back. And it's very, it's very much like, it's how I felt for like Scream, when they brought back the original cast members for the new remakes of that. It's a little cringe because you're like, really? Like,
it's also kind of great.
Exactly, but it's like those mixed feelings where you're like, but I kind of love it. Like the fact that they brought them back in just to do that, I think is fantastic.
Also, just some fun facts since we're talking about our boy Freddie Prinze Jr. Nobody wanted him for this movie. This is his breakthrough role. This is his first big role.
Is it really?
Yes, and nobody wanted him. So director Jim Gillespie went to bat for him. They thought he looked like too soft and he wasn't muscular enough. But this movie made him a heartthrob.
Yeah.
Made him. And Melissa Joan Hart turned down a role for this movie.
Interesting. Was she going to be Helen?
She had to have.
Right?
It definitely had to be because Ryan Phillippe only got this because of him dating Reese Witherspoon.
Which makes sense. And it said, I had read somewhere that Sarah Michelle Gellar had just wrapped on Buffy.
Mm-hmm. And this is where him and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar first met. They didn't start dating while they were doing this movie, but they started dating 2 years after wrapping this, and they eventually got, didn't they get married?
Did they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't follow. Well, he's still married to her.
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Michelle Gellar?
Aren't they still married?
Sarah
I
Michelle
think
Gellar?
so. I think they're like one
Let's
of those
Google
super
this.
cute Hollywood weddings. Or
This has nothing to do with this,
No.
but please tell me. Okay, fun fact about Amanda and Dayelle, if you haven't known this.
Yeah.
We love corny movies. Did you watch his Christmas movie? That came out on Netflix?
Yes, I did.
It's so bad,
but
I
it's
loved
good.
it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, he's still married
Yes.
to her since 2002. That's so beautiful.
And they kind of look the same. Like they don't age.
They do. I love that.
You
for
know,
them.
like he's aging like fine wine, and she looks almost identical to what she looked like when she was a kid. Like she looks great for her age.
Yep.
I also thought this was kind of cool. I found this little fun fact that during the movie, while they were filming, You know this scene where Jennifer Love is screaming and she's like, "What are you waiting for?" And she like screams it out loud. Well, apparently that was a improvised line, and the cast and crew were like, "Oh my God, that has to stay." And it had become like one of the most iconic lines.
That's like a 90s 2000s horror movie thing, is where you scream into the nothing, like, "Well, come kill me."
Exactly. And I was like, that's so cool. I like that. That's a good memorable horror movie moment. She
also said she was terrified while she was making this movie.
I mean, understandably.
She said she couldn't sleep when she got home because she was so unnerved from the experience of being chased by the scary fisherman.
Yeah. I mean, he's terrifying. Do you ever actually oh, no, you do. I was going to say, do you ever see his face? You do see his face. Never mind.
Yeah, it's played, the actor that played that was Muse Watson. Yeah. And she said that when he would run at her with the hook in the hand, it felt like way too close to like what life can be.
You know, the only thing that I thought was weird is at the point where she like gets on the boat and she's running away from Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, Ray. She's like, "Oh my God, it's you, you did it." Because she sees the boat name and she's like, "Oh my God." And she jumps on the boat and you see there's like the old guy who's like, "There's a phone on the boat." And she runs and gets on the boat. Like, why at that point did he take off the coat and the hat and the boots? Oh no, the boots are still on because he steps.
The boots are on.
He steps on the boat and you see the boots. You're like, oh,
you see the boot.
Oh no!
I have a question because in my fun facts, it has that Jennifer Love Hewitt. That scene was written by a kid who won a contest to come on and create the moment for the movie.
Really?
So
that's crazy.
I don't know what is true, but either way,
I like it.
I feel like I can't get a scary movie anymore though without that scene.
Yeah.
Like a scream scene. Like a.
Also, there's so much.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, there's so much. And she like really, I mean, I'll give her credit. She knew her way around that boat. Like all those back hidden doorways and cubbies.
Why are you going into the ice portion? Also, it's so cold. Ice is so cold.
It's so cold, and that's very shiny ice. I was impressed.
The whole time Henry's like, "Is that ice or salt for the fish? Is that?" And I'm like, "It's ice." He's like, "No, I think it's salt. It's definitely salt." And then the body pops out. He goes, "I guess it's ice. Doesn't look like ice. I guess it's ice."
It's like it's clearly like the prop ice that they make, and it's not supposed to have a sound, so they add the sound in like After Effects, but it sounds so funny. It's like that's my ice sounds.
It's so insane. That was good. Also, the ending. Like, I like the ending. I like the hand that gets severed off and it's in the net.
Yeah.
That was not the original ending, and the director fucking hated the original ending. Yeah, which was Julie got an email saying, "I still know."
I don't know. I love the ending.
I like this
I do
ending.
too. I like the whole concept that you think everything's good, and then she's like obviously away at college, and she's like getting ready, and she's talking to her, her boy Ray, and she's well, we already talked about the towel, right? She's in the towel, and her hair's looking. Also, why was she showering? Because her hair looked incredible. I don't think she needed a shower.
It's the only sign of her not being depressed.
Yeah, exactly. You have to shower. But also, how do we not talk about this moment of when they bring the body and throw the body over the when they're on the dock and they're all like debating on who's going to throw the body in. And also, wait a minute, this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I can't believe I forgot to talk about this. I didn't even put it in my notes. What the heck is with the whole switching of who's driving? Why was that an important fact? Do you know what I'm saying? So Barry was driving in the book, right? Because he's kind of like that asshole that drives really fast. Like, they talk about it a bunch, that he's always really fast. He doesn't pay attention, whatever. And then in the movie, they make Ray the one that's driving.
Because Ryan Phillippe is hammered.
Yeah, but in the book, he's hammered too.
Yeah, I think maybe they just didn't want to promote young kids drunk driving and make it look fun.
That's true. I didn't think about that. The fact that he's very clearly sober. So yeah, that's probably totally what it was.
He's
yeah,
like, you're hammered. I'll
and
drive.
he like throws a little hissy fit about it, and he's like, "No, this is my car. Don't let anyone drive my car." I'm like,
no one touches the Beamer.
Oh my god! So then they bring him They bring him to the dock, and they're all just like debating on who's going to push him in, and Barry's like to Ray, he's like, you do it because you're the one that, you hit him or whatever he says, and he's like, no, I can't do that, that's too far. You literally brought him to the dock to throw him in the water. Like, what did you think was going to happen when you got to the dock? Someone's going to have to put him in the water. So then Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, she's like, I'll do it. And she just goes and she starts to push him. And then he wakes up and he's alive. He grabs onto her. Now, in this moment, as normal people would be, right? You'd be like, oh my God, he's alive. He's okay. No.
We're so sorry. No. Let's get you to a hospital.
Let's beat the ever-living
shit out of
just
this man.
Completely smashing him. And then he falls into the water, but he's clearly still alive. And then they all leave, and it's like, well,
it's real bad.
That's how it goes. Like, that's the end.
I do have some fun facts for us at the end here. Yes. So, Ryan Philippe got on Twitter a message from Muse Wilson, who plays Ben Willis, the man they killed, or so they thought. He sent him a direct message on Twitter on 4th of July, which is so funny. On 4th of July, and it said something creepy like, hello, old friend. He was definitely tweeting in character, who said that Ryan Philippe said this message was really weird and really creepy.
So the line that that Jennifer Love Hewitt says was actually at a request of a crew member's kid who was visiting the set.
So the contest story is not correct.
I don't think so. I mean, to be fair, this could also be totally not true. But from what I could find, that is what actually happened, where there was like a kid on set and he was like, that's what you should say, or whatever. So.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Changed the face of 90s, 2000 slasher films. But
exactly.
So my last fun fact that I have for you is that the studio, Sony, got sued by Miramax because when they marketed this film, they said, brought to you by the creators of Scream, which Scream, yes, the same guy did write both movies, but Scream was produced and made by Wes Craven as well as Miramax Films. So they thought like, oh, you're riding on our coattails and not even like referencing us. So
yeah,
they got a little sued.
That's interesting. I also wondered, and I didn't do any research into this, so I'm just going to leave it open-ended, but I was curious about, like, did Lois sell the rights to the book for the movie to be made? Because clearly she didn't have any say in the movie. So I was curious, like, is it something that or did they just become available?
Yeah, because remember, we spoke to another author. The episode hasn't come out yet. But we asked them, and it's like when you sell the rights to your book for them, they had no say in anything. Yeah. Like no say. They didn't get to see a script. They got to see nothing. And I know that we've also talked to other authors who have said, I did sell the rights, but I asked that they stay true to this, and this. And so I think it probably is like a stipulation based on how you work the contract.
Yeah, and maybe? I wonder if it's like at the discretion of whoever is making the movie. Like they can listen to the author or they can just be like, yeah, I bought the rights. Like I can do what I want.
I bought the rights.
Feels like maybe that's what happened, especially based on the fact that they changed it so much. So anyway.
Well, they had always intended to do this remake that's coming out in July. It was always there. They always wanted to do it. I kind of love what's happening, though, because Freddie Prinze Jr. is, like, back in acting, right? And he hadn't been for a while. And our girl, Jennifer Love Hewitt, has just been killing it. Like, she never stopped.
No, she doesn't.
She's been doing a lot of, like, TV and some other, like, I think she did some Christmassy Hallmark movies and stuff. But she's had some great shows.
Like Ghost Whisperer.
Oh, that was so good. I love that show. Guilty pleasure. That and like a Veronica Mars. Like those were two like, oh yeah, these are good. But here's the thing. The book is so different. The book is like this is what happened. The book was like a psychological mind F, right? Like,
yeah.
When you think you can get away with something and you hide it from people, like it's going to catch up with you. And this is the way it does. Yeah. The movie is just good old fashioned summer horror movie fun.
Lois had said that she had been inspired by the urban legend of the Hook killer. And so it's interesting that that is how they went with the movie. So I'm wondering if that's something that came after the fact, like maybe in an interview or something, she brought up the fact that she was interested in that, but then decided to go a different route of like, you know, the date is the killer kind of thing. But agreed. Yeah.
They're both great example. Like the book is a very great example. Women, be careful who you're dating.
Yeah.
Thank God for her mom's intuition.
Yeah, and the themes of the book are very heavy in guilt, you know, like the consequences of, you know, your actions, and then like everything that kind of comes after you make a decision, and then secrets. Like secrets destroy people. And the book definitely, you know, shows that a lot. But I think for me, like I really enjoyed the book. It was such an easy, quick read, and I really enjoy her writing style. Like, I would recommend reading the book, especially if you're not into slasher films. But I think, like, this is a watch it and a read it for me in a very like separate, like do not.
They are not the same.
You cannot.
Yeah, they are not the same, but it's a both.
Like totally different, but like they're both so good in their own little worlds.
I agree. It's a both for me, and it kind of scratched that itch where I'm in a little bit of a reading slump because snaps to us, we have done our whole season so far ahead of time. So you're going off to Japan, and we've been discussing a lot, like, what are we going to read? Like, what we have free time for the first time in over a year to read what we want. And I was kind of like, I have so many Frida McFadden books on the shelves behind me that I have not read yet. And this is like a baby Frida McFadden, right? Like a very in your head psychological thriller. And I kind of want to read a little palate cleanser psychological thriller. And then let's be honest, I'm going back to romantasy or just a good old fashioned summer romance book.
Yeah, like a good mix of all of the above. I have no idea. Same seas.
So this is a bother.
Both. All right.
I'm excited for the new
one.
Well, we have to do an update when you get back and we both watch it.
Agreed. It looks good. I'm excited for it. And my kid, who's obsessed with scary movies, I'm sure will want to see it. So,
can we have him on the episode? That would be so fun. Me and my best
He would love that. He's super into all this new scary movies, like the classics, but that are being remade, like the Final Destination movie that just came out. He convinced me to take him to see that, and I was actually like really pleasantly surprised at how well of a remake it was. I enjoyed it. It obviously has its moments of like, okay, but it was good. It was a good one. It brought me back to like the first movie in that
goddamn logging truck and a tanning bed.
Oh my god,
scarred for life.
For real.
And I was a tanning bed girly
for real. I mean, and spoilers, but in the new remake, there's a MRI machine.
No, that's not nice to do to people because nobody willingly goes into the MRI machine. They're forced there. That's not nice.
I will just leave it there. If you know, you know. But it is.
That's also not nice for you to see. You poor medical anomaly. It is. You shouldn't be seeing those things.
It is an intense. It's a very intense.
I hate that for you.
But on that note, until next time.
Fantastic.
Bye.